Ever wonder how a multi-billion-dollar criminal empire actually works? I mean, it's not just pure chaos. It's a business. A brutal one, yeah, but it has a surprisingly clear career ladder. So let's do this. Let's walk through your life, step by step, as you climb every single rank of a Mexican cartel. And this quote, this gets right to the heart of it. This is where it all begins, and honestly, for most, it's where it ends too. It captures the whole brutal reality of the system. It's an engine that just runs on an endless supply of people, a cycle of recruitment and violence that feels almost impossible to stop. And it all starts with that one kid. All right, let's start the journey. You're beginning at the absolute bottom. These are the entry-level gigs where the risks are just huge and the rewards are just a tiny, tiny taste of the wealth that fuels this entire machine. So this is you. You're 15, sitting on a plastic chair with a soda and a cheap burner phone. Your only job? Watch for military trucks or, SUVs from a rival crew. One text for the army, a different one for the enemy. For this, you get $100 a week. Now, the real threat isn't the local cops. They're already on the payroll. No, it's the Marines. They can't be bought. And if you mess up, if you just freeze for 30 seconds, well, the warning is simple. Next time, they'll bury you in the desert. Okay, but you didn't mess up. You proved you're reliable. So you get a promotion. You're not just watching the product anymore. Now you're actually moving it. And that is a massive step up in trust and responsibility. And here's the reward for that trust. $3,000 for a single trip. Think about it. At 18 years old, this is more money than you've ever even seen, let alone held. It's enough to change everything, if you make it. This is what you're moving. Half a ton of meth welded into the floor of a semi-truck buried under a mountain of watermelons. It's an 8-hour drive, and every single pair of headlights you see in your rearview mirror could be the end of the line. And this is the risk. A mandatory 20-year sentence if you get stopped at a checkpoint. And here's the thing you gotta understand. The cartel isn't gonna send a lawyer. They're not bailing you out. They'll just find another driver. You are completely 100% disposable. But you make the runs. Successfully, week after week. So you're no longer just a driver. Now you actually get to wield a little bit of power. You're moving up, from just being a cog in the machine to someone who enforces its will. So now you're an enforcer. Your job is to collect the piso, the monthly tax that every business in your territory has to pay. And most of them do. They know the rules. But when someone refuses, well, your job is to give them a violent reminder. You smash up their restaurant, you beat up the owner, and guess what? The next month, they pay double. You're making good money now. You buy a BMW, get your mom a new house. But here's the catch. Now you have a face. Now you're a target for the rivals. You've proven you can handle the violence and you can handle the money. So, promotion again. You're a manager now. You run a cell of 10 guys. You're responsible for distributing the product, collecting the cash, and of course, protecting your turf. So if a rival crew comes and kills one of your lookouts, you don't wait for orders. You handle it yourself. You send a clear, bloody message. And what's really fascinating here is the money. Your personal take is $50 to $100,000 a month. But look at how that breaks down. You're not just a gangster anymore. You're basically managing a really chaotic small business. You've got payroll for your muscle, you're paying out bribes, you're covering the cost of goods, and if you don't send enough profit up the chain, you're replaced. Permanently. Okay, so you've mastered the street-level stuff. Now it's time to level up again. And this is where you basically trade your gun for a strategy session. You're not just a manager of men anymore, you're a manager of violence on a massive scale. You now control a whole city. You don't go door to door collecting money. You manage the 5 cell leaders who do. You're traveling in armored SUVs with bodyguards. Your job isn't pulling the trigger anymore. It's planning the assault, bribing the police chief, and figuring out how to launder millions of dollars through legit businesses. You're fighting a 2-front war, one against the government and one against your rivals, and you trust no one. And this is where the scale just absolutely explodes. Just look at the leap to the next level. As a regional operator, you're pulling in $200,000 a month, and you're fighting rivals and the DEA. But a plaza boss? Your scope is an entire state. Your personal take is $1 million a month, and your primary enemy is literally everyone. At this level, you disappear. You basically live in a fortified compound in the mountains, a ghost that the public has never even seen. You're not a gangster anymore. You're a CEO. You're a politician. You negotiate with governors. You manage a global supply chain, coordinating submarines and drones and cross-border tunnels. You're generating tens of millions of dollars a month for the cartel. So you've made it. You have unimaginable wealth, unimaginable power. But with that power comes a price that no amount of money can ever pay. Welcome to your golden prison. And this is the great paradox of your life now. You can buy literally anything, but you can't do anything. You can't go to your own daughter's quinceañera because it's just too dangerous. You can't visit your mother's grave because a sniper might be waiting for you. You have achieved the dream, only to find out you're trapped inside of it. The paranoia is constant. Every single person in your inner circle is a potential threat. Your head of security could be a DEA informant. Your accountant, probably skimming off the top. Your most trusted right-hand man? He could be planning a coup. Even your own brother might see you as just an obstacle to his own ambition. Suspicion isn't just a feeling anymore. It's a survival mechanism. And the chilling logic of your entire existence is summed up right here. Better be safe than sorry. You execute 2 of your own men based on suspicion alone. You can't afford to be wrong. At this level, mercy is a weakness you simply cannot afford. This is it. The top. The final boss. You are worth $3 billion. Your organization spans the entire globe, but you are also the most hunted man on the planet. You've had plastic surgery, so your own kids might not recognize you on the street. And you can never stop. You can never retire. You know too much. You're too dangerous to be left alive. But, no king reigns forever. Eventually, your luck runs out, your story comes to an end. The cartel's story, however, that does not. Whether it was a raid or betrayal, they got you. All the power, all the billions, it's gone. Your entire world is now a concrete cell in ADX Florence, Colorado. 23 hours a day of isolation, no escape. El Chapo is right there in the cell next door. You have the rest of your life to think about every single choice that led you right here. And this is the final, brutal truth of it all. Your story, the story of the man, ends in a cage. But the system, what we can call level 9, it just keeps on going. The cartel doesn't die when you're captured. Your replacement, your nephew, your son, your top lieutenant is already in place. The drugs keep flowing. The money keeps moving. For the business, you're just a footnote. Which, of course, brings us right back to the very beginning. You, the king, are dead. You're a ghost story now. But the empire remains. And somewhere, right now, there's another 15-year-old kid sitting outside a convenience store, phone in hand, just waiting for his chance to climb the exact same ladder.